Welcome to House McLaren for Monterey Car Week. Right now we're at the trophy room where it's all about showcasing McLaren's racing heritage. Now before we begin this video, it's important to note that McLaren started out as a racing brand, and then they wanted to really compete not only with Ferrari and their competitors on the track, but also on the street. So right there to my right is a Formula One car, so the McLaren. From that F1 team, well, they've changed. They've done so much since then, and today we're getting a first look with the McLaren W1. We don't only have the W1 right in front of me, but we also have the McLaren F1 chassis number 1 and the McLaren P1 on the right. So let's do a quick walk around and check out these incredible legendary hypercar McLarens. My favorite out of the hypercar Holy Trinity years ago was the McLaren P1. If I quickly walk this way, this one is finished in glorious colors to highlight Ayrton Senna. It even says Senna on the rear wings. So cool to see. This was my favorite of all the hypercars when the Holy Trinity was out. Where it was the P1, you had the Porsche 918, and then you had, what was the last one? It was the Ferrari Ferrari. We all knew a replacement was coming from McLaren, and this car really just blew us away in every single facet. When it comes to the beautiful sculpted, curvy body lines from the front to the rear, all the way to that massively raised rear wing, and that fully moves and it's active. It'll lower all the way down for straightaways, for crying out loud. This thing is timeless, and they not only sold out, they also went way up in value. So if you own a P1, congratulations. I briefly had the opportunity to actually get inside one of these cars at Laguna Seca Raceway, and it was just insane. The one thing I realized, well, there's a few things. There's so much engine noise inside this car when you're driving it. You just hear the turbos, you hear not only stuff mechanically, but you hear a lot externally from outside the car. You hear the rocks fly up and hit the sides where the lower section is of the doors. It's really crazy to think about. And then here we have the McLaren F1. This vehicle was the original hypercar, right? McLaren brought this vehicle out. It had a 6-liter V12 making 618 horsepower with 240 miles per hour. Isn't that crazy? For a naturally aspirated vehicle, what naturally aspirated car goes 240 miles per hour? But guess what? This is not just any McLaren F1. Yeah, these cars auction off for around $20 million each at times at these auctions, but this is VIN number 1, a chassis 1, McLaren F1. So it's right here sitting promptly next to the W1. This is where it all started, and quite literally this is where it all started with chassis 1. So this is, I can't imagine how much this vehicle must be worth right now. But even with the transmission, being able to manually change gears, you don't have that stuff anymore. But it's beautiful to see how the body lines between all the years, they have really stayed close to the heritage. You can see the sweeping nature from the front to the rear that is incorporated in all McLarens. Now even my 750S has a body design, a profile view that is inspired off the McLaren F1. And another vehicle we're going to check out briefly over there is Project Endurance, and even that vehicle has body lines that are inspired based off this too, and you need that to be able to race within that prototype class to prove that your prototype car is actually part of the brand that you are saying you're with. Anyway, so that wraps up our quick walk around of the past, right? This was, again, my favorite, the Ayrton Senna version right there of the P1. You had about 900 horsepower, 600 horsepower. This has got 1,258 horsepower. Let's get into the shade, which they were nicely enough to cover the car with, and now we're going to get covered with it and check out the McLaren W1. And here we have the McLaren W1, the current hypercar from McLaren, and we have it completely pretty much to ourselves out here, which is really cool to see. Usually these cars have massive crowns. This is the first time I've really seen the McLaren W1 in person, and honestly, it seems more curvy than the photos. You also have a brand new generation of headlights with the W1. You don't have that traditional McLaren badge-inspired swooping, curving headlight that you had on the P1. for example, these are much more angular, and you can see the really incredible looking carbon fiber weave finish. I think the two-tone designs that you're really seeing with the P1 especially and the W1 go to highlight that this car is a McLaren, because that really differentiated this versus other cars of the Holy Trinity when they came out over a decade ago. But with the W1, you do have 1,258 horsepower. This is a hybrid, and unlike other hybrids in the market, you don't have an upfront e-motor. It's out back. This is a rear-wheel drive McLaren, so that e-motor weighs, I think, over 40 pounds, so it's not very much at all. And you're getting 340 horsepower out of it, going with the 900 plus horsepower twin turbocharged V8 that's fully re-engineered from the ground up. Not only that, but you also have a brand new re-engineered gearbox. So unlike other McLarens, you don't have that 7-speed DCT. This has an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. I love the extended long tail out back that is fully functional, which will lower and raise, giving you over 200 pounds of downforce at around 170 miles per hour for the vehicle. One interesting point to note is that with this McLaren P1 right here, it's not as light as traditional, let's say, rear-wheel drive centric McLarens, because it was a hybrid. You know, you had that electric battery system, you had the e-motor, and that incorporated into the weight, raising it. With this, it not only has a significantly more powerful electric motor system, they also have slimmed down with the weight of the entire drivetrain for the e-motor with the batteries, so it's like 80 pounds less in the setup that's in the P1. This whole entire W1 weighs less in the P1. This is around 3,200 pounds, I believe, curb weight. And you can see so many different sections of this car that are fully exposed, giving you massive air exits. Even down below, look at that little tiny adjusted lower fin for the diffuser that's going left a little bit, right about there. Isn't that neat? So this is quite extensively the most aerodynamic, I would say, an advanced McLaren production car today. And yes, it is a production car. They are making about 399 of these vehicles. Let's get back into the shake. It's pretty hot out here, especially with the suit jacket. So all 399 have been sold out. Unfortunately, we're not getting one, but maybe someday this could get on the list of cars we get to get or track. Because I know with my 750S, it is incredibly fast on the track. When you look at this, not only do you have the fastest track going McLaren, right? It's faster than the Senna, but it accelerates faster than the Speedtail. Yeah, 0 to 60 is not the same as the F80, for example. This is about 2.7 seconds, I believe, and the F80 was a little over 2, like 2.1, but you got to realize the drivetrain setups are so different. This weighs about 200 pounds less than an F80, and the F80 has a front drive system. It's all-wheel drive. This, they wanted to really incorporate that traditional steering feel that you have with the hydraulic-assisted steering out of McLarens. You have a brand new aerocell carbon fiber monocoque tub in the middle. The entire car is just trying to stay true with the traditional driving style you get out of McLarens. So keeping that hydraulic-assisted front steering system and that rear drive setup gives you, in my opinion, a more you get more connection to the front axle because there's less going on up front and the vehicle feels more easy to control in the corners. There are a few other body lines I want to point out with this vehicle. Yeah, we have a whole new design up front, but with the 750LM, you have this double front splitter design that looks just like this. You do have active elements for aerodynamics down below. As you can see here, you have like the hidden eye sockets that the 7 Series McLarens usually have. A massive open duct in the middle that is very wide with that second section right here. I gotta find out what that does. I'm not exactly familiar, but you can see the full inboard suspension right there. Isn't that crazy how you can actually see a quick glimpse at it up front? There's so many swooping open different sections on this vehicle, right? Even those side mirrors are fully floating up in in the air, right? It's like this body line from the down here connects all the way up to that side mirror. I'm like out of words right now seeing the body lines of this vehicle. This is something that you definitely would need to get PPF'd. And oh, by the way, I did start my own PPF shop on the beach at Carlsbad. We're pretty much supercars every week. So hey, if you need anything, let us know. We'll take care of you. Real quickly, are you tired of getting rock chips on your car, especially from going to the racetrack? Well, this video is brought to you by Speed Phenom Film, your go-to destination for all your paint protection film needs. Located in Carlsbad, California, call 760-496-8607 today, or check out the contact information in the description down below to find out a quote completely for free and with zero hassle. Protect your car today so you can enjoy it. Back to the video. When you see how massive those air escapes are, I mean, this is going to help relieve a lot of the high pressure air up front with those front wheels and tires, but also even high temp. Air coming from those tires where the brakes are too. So this is really gonna help with downforce, cooling, and more. And you can see a little bit of the suspension system hidden away right there. This is the most McLaren-esque body line I've seen so far, other than the side profile, because it's traditional to like the Solus GT, right? Even the Formula One car has this curvature right here for those side intakes. Moving to the cockpit, unfortunately, it's locked up right now. We're like super getting like behind the scenes content here. They haven't even started the events yet, so it's very nice of McLaren to have us out to get a look at the W1. But those seats are fixed, and you have a really incredible orange finish for the interior. You can see up front right about there, and the basic sections that move with you are gonna be where the steering wheel is and the pedals. Having fixed seating helps to get that weight distribution perfectly nailed down. You don't have all those side lower windows like a Senna, but you do have a up top window that lets you see right up top outside. You're definitely looking out of that when you're going towards top speed, of course. And there's essentially no rear end visibility when you look at it, except for the rear camera right there. This is one section I do want to mention right here. Do you notice what it is? No, it's not like a roof scoop. It's actually capturing the airflow to maximize it towards where the engine bay is, and also the rear aero system for the vehicle. This is also a very unique body line right there that helps to capture the air. This thing is just like a sculpture, isn't it? I love seeing the body lines. Let me back up and get a good profile view before we wrap up this video. Quick look at the McLaren W1. You are using Trofeo RS tires, which are different than the usual Michelin Cup 2Rs that I see a lot of the times with other brands. Let us know in the comment section down below, what do you think of the McLaren W1? I mean, the power to weight ratio with it so far, having 1258 horsepower, weighing just over 3,000 pounds. It's insane. The power to weight that this car had was industry leading. The P1 pushed it even further. Now this is the pinnacle. No, it's not only about throwing as much horsepower as possible. It's about creating a system that works, that rewards the driver with feedback and ability to drive faster than any of the McLaren that is road legal on a racetrack, even accelerating. And it's all inspired by one thing. Let me show you. This is where it all started, guys, right here with Formula One. This is a racing company creating cars that you can buy and drive on the street and then go to the track. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.